Lyons site. Services for the blind and visually impaired. Graphic of a lion's head in black and white on a gray background. Hi there, I'm Keenan Fry and you're watching Lyons Site Media. Alright, thanks for coming back for another quick video update. This is just a little bit more about the Curious George project that I did for my Braille class. I don't have the entire book in front of me, it's off to the side over there, but I'm just going to show you a couple of pages. So for starters, we have on this page here, what you'll see is, if I can get the light to reflect, you can kind of see how there's a sort of shine to this edge of the paper and then it's matte over here. So what I did to reinforce the ends that I hole punched was I laid down some packaging tape. So what you want to do is get to your local Office Depot and get the clear packaging tape. There's like industrial grade stuff. You don't need something that strong, but just something with that resilience. What's going to happen is it's going to make the ends a little bit stronger. That part's obvious, but it makes it more water resistant, which is really the big thing, because your kid's going to be a tactile learner. They're going to be touching it. And they're going to be moving it around. I was thinking about putting some on the corners as well, because you grab the corner of the page to turn it. So I think I might do the side as well. But so far I've only done the spine of the hole punch. We'll see how it works. I think it's pretty practical. It's a very easy way, and it avoids you having to laminate the page, because laminate kind of defeats the purpose of everything, because when you laminate the entire page, it takes away the tactile information that the kid can get. So it limits, it's counterproductive because it limits the sensory input they get. So the last thing I'll talk about is, I was talking about the Curious George maze at the end, so I'm going to bring this close to you. I'm going to talk about it for a second. I'm going to get this to zoom in, or not zoom, excuse me, get into focus. Okay, so what you're looking at is now the Curious George maze, and the page is yellow, and the maze itself is actually a black line, but obviously there's this red material over it. Well, there's this really fine graph tape that you can buy off of Amazon, and if you get that stuff, it comes in different thicknesses. This is the 1 millimeter thickness to get that red, so even from a distance you can see it. So it's got a pretty nice high contrast. Bring it back up close again. So the way it comes out, it's on a little roll. It's almost like floss actually, but it's just sticky on one side. So I talked about earlier thinking about using floss to make this maze, but instead this graph tape is significantly better. I put the word finish with my Ryzen Braille labeler over here, and then I've got the word start. Probably could have put the start a little bit closer to his hand. In hindsight, that would have been probably a little bit better, but the finish is right on top of the word finish. There's the nice little gap right there. So when you enter the center of the circle, you're kind of in the center. There's other things you can do. So they sell fuzzy stickers on Amazon, and you can get fuzzy stickers for all kinds of animals. Obviously, Curious George is a monkey, so you could get fuzzy stickers for monkeys, and then you put the sticker down, and there's that sort of felt fabric. So when you touch the sticker, it kind of tells you like, oh, hey, here's the little cartoon character. Things like that are useful. So some other stuff. We just wrapped up for the semester, and we're going to be doing Nemeth pretty soon. So I'm going to try and make some videos talking about Nemeth, and that'll be an interesting experience because Nemeth is brand new to me. I'm pretty solid with UEB, United English Braille. I'd say that for better or worse, I'm about as good as you can be after 17 weeks of doing it. You're not going to master something like UEB, the UEB code, in 17 weeks. That's barely 4 months. So anyway, Braille's a lifelong sort of practice, studying the code, learning to read it, so on and so forth, and then eventually learning to get some amount of tactile recognition of it. But for where I'm at this point in time, I think I'm in a good spot. The class is looking all right. The materials are already online, so they do everything via Canvas or iLearn. So it's pretty useful to go in advance and just audit the class. The way I set things up, I have my folders on my desktop for my computer, and I have a folder for each week and then subfolders that kind of organize all of my documents. If you ever have to go to grad school, I can't emphasize to you that organization is 90% of the work. If you miss something, it's because you weren't organized. And I know that sounds like common sense, but the thing about grad school in particular is they have listservs, and they have, you know, dozens and dozens of pages with hundreds of resources. So for example, on the iLearn page, which was the course homepage, it wasn't a course homepage, it was also the program homepage that was created by the former director, Professor Ting. She's now moved on to bigger and better things. But that homepage, there's so many sub menus and so many sub items, you know, you really have to audit it. And that means building folders for your classes, but building folders for the program itself. And that may seem common sense, but if you ever miss anything, it's all in there. It's just you got to go through it. And it'll always vary from department to department, university to university. So, you know, figure out how your admin organizes everything, and then just go through it. Sign up for extra office hours. Talk to your admin. Talk to your counselor, your graduation counselor. Get yourself a graduation roadmap. You usually get one when you enter grad school, but it's a little bit different as well, because as you go through the process, you know, if you don't make your student teaching, my student teaching paperwork is due February 23rd. If you don't make the deadline for that, they set you back a full year because you can't complete it, right? So there's certain things they're sticklers about. There's certain things they negotiate on. So the paperwork is something that they're usually sticklers about. The grades and the homework itself is a little bit more negotiable because it's a professor to professor basis. But when it comes to the department paperwork, you really got to be on top of that. So if you're thinking about going to grad school, you're thinking about going into education, it's a little intimidating, but the more time you spend organizing, the less time you spend working. Organizing, I feel like, is kind of like busy work, but it's kind of like a necessary part of the job. And if you just stay organized and stay on top of things, most of your problems will solve themselves. So that's about it. This is a short little 5-minute clip. Well, less than 10 minutes. I appreciate you guys listening. There'll be more coming up in the next few weeks. Hopefully I can put together some more tutorials to make it worthwhile your time coming out and visiting this channel. For those of you who have visited this channel a few times, I appreciate your support. This is an ongoing project. I have another channel where I have about 500 hours of content and about 172 videos on. So I'm pretty committed to the whole YouTube thing. We'll see how reliable I can be at it in terms of committing to a schedule. I don't think that's going to be something I can really do, because, you know, it's on the basis of when I have gaps in my schedule and I have time to, you know, set up my equipment and hop on to do a quick video. But generally speaking, this is a long-term project that I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing for at least the next 3 to 5 years. So I appreciate you hopping on, watching a video, and just checking out the updates when they come out. More soon, and thank you for your time. I'm Keenan Fry. This is Lyons Site Services, and I'll see you in the future. Thanks. Lyons Site. Regular updates on blind and visually impaired tutorials will be available for all kinds of topics. Thanks for watching.